Now your soccer magazine featuring North West teams and Elton Welsby, of course.
Hello there. A quick well done to St Helens before we get down to the business of football's highs and lows and ups and downs. First with the emphasis on the bottom of the Premiership. A terrific win for Manchester City at Aston Villa, but just imagine how Alan Ball must have felt when he got in the dressing room to find out that Southampton had won at Bolton, which relegates Bolton, by the way, and that Coventry also went away from home. Farewell to Ian Rush at Anfield today. Stan Collymore celebrated in style, and Everton, well, they really ran riot at Sheffield Wednesday with a hat-trick for Andrei Kanchelskis, 9 goals in 6 games for him, by the way. Right, well, that's what it means at the bottom of the Premiership. QPR relegated today, so it's pretty much as you were for Coventry, Southampton and Manchester City, who all won away. Technically, Sheffield Wednesday could still be relegated, but for City to escape, I think to be sure, they will have to beat Liverpool at Main Road next week, Sunday. Well, Millwall and Stoke could be 2 divisions apart next season, and the way they're headed, don't rule it out. Stoke's superiority at the New Den not really reflected by that winning scoreline. Mark Alderton.
It was a cup final atmosphere at the sunny Dell. Millwall, fighting for a first division future, went close. First a blistering shot from Alex Ray, then Prudhoe spectacularly denied Gordon. At the other end, the Potters' perseverance paid off with a gem of a goal from Mike Sheeran, his 15th of the season. A searching clearance from Prudhoe completely outfoxed the Millwall defence, and Wallace coolly finished off, making it 2-0 at half-time. Midway through the second half, Stoke were awarded a penalty after Wallace was unceremoniously pulled down by Keller. Wallace got up, stepped up to the spot, made it 3-0. Millwall were given a glimmer of hope after Malkin was pulled down by Sigurdsson in the second half. Alex Ray converting. In injury time, Alex Ray added his second after a bout of wrestling in the Stoke box, but it was all a little too late for the Lions.
Well, Port Vale, strangely enough, were in a position to do Stoke a favour this afternoon, but they couldn't. Charlton and Stoke jostling for position in the playoffs. Jonathan Parry.
With Port Vale now enjoying the comfort of mid-table safety, the onus today was all on Charlton to chase the points. But John Rudge's men aren't heading for the beach just yet. John McCarthy's excellent season continues. He crushed Vale ahead after good work from Lee Mills and Tony Naylor. That was the highlight of a largely uninspiring first period, until Stuart Palmer rose to put Charlton level just before half-time. And that was just the inspiration Charlton needed to break out of their defensive shell. Substitute Sean Newton putting the visitors in front within 2 minutes of the restart. Bradley Allen added a third for Charlton midway through the second half. Well laid on by John Robinson, Charlton now looking a sure bet for the playoffs.
Sunderland go up as champions. Derby Crystal Palace play tomorrow, and believe it or not, Stoke aren't absolutely guaranteed a place in the playoffs. Well, there's been nothing fancy about Oldham in recent games, but that's not the point. It's all about points at this stage of the season. Nothing more, nothing less. One will do there this afternoon at Southend. Mike Sadler.
He's been waiting for this moment, and today was the day Jerry Craney chose to score his first goal for the club as Oldham chased their second successive away win. And despite the odd flurry, it was enough to give Latics a valuable half-time lead, with Ian Snowden's last-ditch defending proving just enough. Sadly though, Richard Graham's clumsy challenge midway through the second half let Southend back into it. The former Liverpool man Mike Marsh converted from the spot, and Oldham have to settle for a point. 1-1 it finished.
Well, Tranmere getting a point at Grimsby in pretty much a mid-table game, as it happens. So as we look at the bottom of Division 1, we see that Oldham have moved up 2 places, their future very much in their own hands. Well, Swindon became second division champions during the week, but what about second place? Well, it was lost by Blackpool at home this afternoon. Jim Beglin reports.
Having watched Swindon celebrate promotion at Bloomfield Road, Blackpool were hoping to follow suit, but between them Mickey Mellon and Eric Nixon conspired to allow Martin Butler to find space and then the net on 15 minutes. Not until just before the break did the frustration ease for the Seasiders when Walsall's Vivace clumsily fouled Andy Priest. The referee was convinced and James Quinn was accurate. In the second half, a combination of Blackpool tension and Walsall's defensive resilience led to some downright carelessness from the home side. Martin O'Connor's run went completely unchecked and the Tangerines were behind for a second time. For the remainder of the match, only one good chance came Blackpool's way, but Tony Ellis's aim was well off target, and after 2 points from a possible 18, the pressure is now really on.
Well, vitally important for both clubs today. The game at Gresty Road, Crewe at home to Oxford. Oxford are now in second place. Jonathan Parry again.
No doubt about game of the day in Division 2, Crewe looking to regain their momentum against playoff rivals Oxford. But a terrible start as Paul Moody struck his 23rd of the season on 11 minutes. Crewe's best chance was Colin Little's snapshot in the dying seconds of the first half, but that was easily claimed by keeper Phil Whitehead. More defensive problems for Crewe in the second half, Joey Beecham putting Oxford 2 up with a free header from David Rush's cross. Oxford now secure in the playoffs. Sub Steve McCauley pulled one back for Crewe, but problems are plenty for Dario Gradi. Crewe's form is now in decline, and their promotion hopes must be fading.
Well, for both Stockport and Bristol Rovers, any hopes of retaining any interest in the playoffs hinged on the game at Edgeley Park this afternoon. Well, in the Stockport, 3 extremely valuable points. Mike Sadler.
Stockport's Alan Armstrong is enjoying his best goal-scoring season yet, and if he carries on like this, the playoffs are still a real possibility. That's number 18 for him this term. Minutes later, and poor defending meant Andy Much was just inches away from scoring county second. Keeper Andy Collett, though, grabbed it at the second time of asking. Collett, though, was left in no man's land when substitute Tony Dinning headed home with 1 game to go. Don't rule Stockport out just yet.
Well, a real scrap for points at the racecourse ground this afternoon. Wrexham going for the playoffs, Burnley to stay in the division. Burnley are safe. They've survived on the back of a tremendous win there. Commentary by Alistair Mann.
Connolly's flick. Bishop's in the way. And suddenly Robinson's in the clear and he's finished! Oh, that's a great goal! Very carefully spotting the ball up. They'll be happy to go in with this 1-goal lead at half-time. They'll be even happier with 2, and Nogan's provided it!
Swindon promoted as champions. Oxford and Blackpool changed places. Crewe still in the playoff zone. Amazingly, the way they've been going. Stockport not out of it, but with only 1 game to play. Well, unfortunately, because of some technical difficulties outside our control, we can't bring you action of 2 third division games, the one between Darlington and Chester and the other one between Hartlepool and Preston, which means Preston are champions of the 3rd division. Well done to both of them, well, to Preston anyway, and you'll be able to see the goals on Granada tonight. But that was in the northwest. We were quite okay in the West Country. Exeter against Bury, the game finished 1-1. We can see the goals now. Mark Carter's 18th of the season, coming from the penalty spot. There we go. And then Phil Stand hit the bar. That would have given Bury a comfortable 2-0 lead. But they had to settle for 1 point when Noel Blake scored for Exeter. And that goal actually takes Bury out of the top 3. Well, now Plymouth, many people's favourite to go up by avoiding the playoffs, and they did their cause a lot of good at Rochdale this afternoon. The commentator's Martin Dean.
Williams looking to get a shot in, off the crossbar. Tremendous effort from Paul Williams. A little job. Looking to take on Thackeray. 3 players in the middle if he can get a cross in. Comes for Evans, and Mickey Evans gets the goal.
Well, Rochdale in mid-table, it didn't really matter as far as they're concerned. That certainly matters for Wigan. They could do with every point they can get at the moment. Let's have a look and see exactly where they lie at the top of Division 3, with Preston and Gillingham promoted, and Bury now in the playoffs, and Wigan are in there as well. We have a soccer night for you on Tuesday. There'll be a lot of crucial games there, including that one between Oldham Athletic and Stoke City. OK, thanks for being with us. Cheers.